So here is our official announcement of VaporLip's Custom Box Mods Battery 6. We're going to be calling this one the 4100 milliamp hour battery. It is a 3S battery, which means it is 3 cells in series. Each battery is 4100 milliamp hour, but we're running them in series. That's why we call it a total of 4100. And it is 20C, which means it is rated safe for 80 amps continuous. And it does fit in our Humpty box, which some people know that as the B box. Ours Humpty is just technically a squared version. But yeah, I mean, we're really excited about this battery, and the reason that we wanted to make this video for this announcement is because we don't have like a name brand attached to this battery. We've been working with a battery manufacturer, and we have been working with them the past few months, and we told them what we wanted. We wanted to fit the biggest battery possible in our enclosure, and so over the past few months we've been kind of doing some tests, and we wanted to make sure that we showed and proved to us as well as to our customers that this battery is what it says it is. And we do these tests on all of our batteries, but because once again this doesn't have a name brand attached to it, we wanted to show the test to all of our customers in this case, so that way everyone feels comfortable with what they're getting, they know what they're getting, and it's just that security. So let's get started. Here is a test we're running for milliamp hour. We already ran one test here, and we're running it at 4 amps. You can see it's discharging at 43 watts, and the voltage there is just the current voltage of the battery. But as you can see, the green line above, that one already was tested, and it was doing a little bit higher milliamp hour than this battery. These are each different cells, and so you look at the one and it's 35 watt hours versus the other one at 36, so you can kind of see that they're pretty close. But yeah, we have the 9-volt cutoff for the battery, and then that dotted orange line is to show the 4,000. Oh, we skipped ahead here now, so we're already over 4,000 milliamp hour, or according to the watt hours. And let me just do some quick math to kind of show you how many watt hours we're at here. So 4 times 11.1, 44.4 watt hours is how many watt hours would be for a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. So I guess that orange dashed line is actually a little bit before. So yeah, I mean 44, that is the watt hours you would need to achieve to hit 4,000 milliamp hour. And so which, by the way, that's what we were aiming for when we worked with this LiPo manufacturing company, as we wanted it to be at least 4,000, but through all of our testing we're getting 4,200 milliamp hour, 4,100. They've all been close to 4,100 or more, and so that's why we're calling this battery the 4,100 milliamp hour battery. Oh, and this little jump right there in that orange line, that was just we just paused the test just for a moment, just kind of curious to see how many volts it would jump back up. But that's also what happened earlier in the orange line, that test. Just pausing it for a moment, it doesn't affect the total milliamp hours that it gets because it's only calculating while it's discharging. So here we are, we're almost done with this second battery here. So yeah, for the measured amp hours in this program, to me it doesn't measure out. Like, it's saying 4.017 amp hours, so you would imagine that that is 4017 watt hours, but when you actually do the math, it doesn't work out that way necessarily, at least in this program. See, right here, we're showing, let's get this thing to come up, 45.45, or on that one we got 46.9, so 45.4 watt hours. So if we do the math for that, 40, I mean, that's, is that, no. Anyway, here we're doing another test now. This is the third sample, the third battery that we got from them, running at 2 amps as opposed to 4 amps continuous. This is just a low amp. Alright, no, we just went ahead and jumped ahead and finished. So this one got even higher milliamp hour than our last one. 45.88 watt hours, which is 45.8. Yeah, we're 4100. All right, so now, right now we're doing, showing our test results for running the battery at 45 amps continuous, or about 500 watts, depending on our resistance here. And I know it says at the top fail. That's because this testing system we were using can't utilize 45 amps, so we had a different discharging system set up to give it the 45 amps. And so I'm just showing here that if we had 4100 milliamp hour battery and we ran it at the 45,000 milliamps or 45 amps, we would get around 0.09 hours of battery life, which is about what we did get here, which, by the way, that's just an awesome curve for running at 45 amps continuous. The battery just got warm. Alright, now we're just showing a little bit about how the voltage of these batteries stay balanced, and the internal resistance of the batteries is all very low, which is important just for that internal cell-to-cell low resistance. See, it's kind of interesting that all three of these that we tested ended up being 24. But I've done these tests on LiPos and they're 100, 200, and it's not like that's terrible. It's just that you want it to be lower. It's just going to end up being a little bit better off for you. So, yep, and that one just balanced all out, 3.74. So yeah, just showing that all the internal resistances were very low. You can see our weights of each of our batteries here. And that one jumps up 6.5 ounces, so almost half a pound of battery. Alright, so here is the battery installed in a device, and we're actually running eScribe's own battery analyzer just to see and kind of see if eScribe's battery analyzer got the same information that we did. So this is our fourth battery now we're testing, and we're running at 55 watts. And you'll see it jump ahead occasionally. So we're down to like 4.11 volts, which that would mean each cell currently is approximately 4.1 volts. The middle line here that looks like a heartbeat, well, it's like the blue and purple line that goes down and up. That's showing the actual voltage of the battery. Like right now it's around 4.11, and then when it actually is pulsed with the 55 watts, like right now, it drops down just a little bit, and that's just showing the battery, the voltage sag of the battery, which what we're seeing here is completely okay. It's good. So now we're down to 9.8 watt hours consumed. We're only at 3.98 voltage for each cell. Yeah, and I didn't get to talk very much earlier about that 45 amp continuous discharge. We actually had a pretty neat setup to do that, and then we just use the software to record the battery voltage to kind of just show the voltage sag of that initial burst of 45 amps, and just show the time duration of how long it took to get down each cell to approximately 3 volts. So I think that test it was pretty neat, and the battery only got, I mean, it got hot. It wasn't super hot, but 10 minutes at 45 amps continuous, that was a pretty impressive test. So what we're doing here is we're just showing that right now the battery is at 3.89 cells for each cell, times 3 is 11.67 pack voltage of the cell, and then 11.67, I believe I'm going to compare this to our earlier test and kind of just see. So 11.67, we're at 16.7 watt hours. And then when we look at our other test, this was our battery that fell in the middle of our watt hours. And we look at the same voltage of the pack. So there we go, 11.67, and we were at like 14.5 watt hours in this test that I'm on the screen right now. 11.67, 14.5 watt hours. And then to compare in eScribe, we're at 17 watt hours currently. So at this point in the test, I was pretty ambitious that we were going to get a little bit higher watt hour in the DNA200 eScribe test than on the earlier CBA test. And in case you guys didn't know, this was all recorded previously. I'm just doing my best to voice over as it's happening. 3.76. I mean, it shows a little line there for each of the individual cells, and you can see that they're all basically right on top of each other, so all the cells are staying the same. So now we're at 3.76 volts for each cell, times 3, we're at 11.28 pack voltage, and we're at around 31 watt hours in eScribe. But if we go and look at our other previous test, 11.3-ish, and we were at 26 watt hours. So like we were several watt hours ahead in the eScribe test. So at this point I'm thinking, you know, everything's looking really good. It's looking like we're going to be a lot higher. So now we're at 43 watt hours approximately. Jumped ahead a little bit there. Down to 3.67 volts per cell. I mean, who thought 43 watt hours? Jeez, it's crazy. And now I'm just comparing it to our other median battery test here. Getting the pack voltage, 3.67 times 3, 11 volts, and then we compare it. We're at 43 watt hours there. When I go to 11 volts on this graph, we were only at, we're only at 38 watt hours. So again, I'm thinking that the eScribe battery analyzer is going to get substantially more watt hours. It ends up being about the same. This battery is the fourth battery we tested. It ends up being about 4,200 milliamp hour, 4,209 or so. This eScribe battery is actually the one that is in that pack at the very in the box at the very beginning of this video, and I believe the watt hours is written on the battery. You can see here now, this is common for voltages this low in a LiPo, but the cells, internal cells, are starting to vary just a little bit. So we're getting close to the end of this test. because once our internal cells, the three cells, are starting to vary a little bit. I mean, it's like 0.02-ish, the variance, but you don't want to allow it to get too much lower. I mean, we're at 44, but anyway, I know this is all getting a little bit boring, a little bit tedious, a little nonchalant, and so here's something a little bit exciting to kind of pump you up for the ending. How many watt hours we get in this battery? It's just some cornstarch and water on a speaker. Refresh our minds so we don't fall asleep. Alright, we're back, and the test is over. We got 46.7 watt hours. 46.7. So we're broke 4,200 milliamp hour on this test again. And yeah, I mean, very, very, very excited. Comes out to, let's see, 44.25 times 11.1, 47. That would be if it was 4250, 4.22, 46.8. That would be if it was 4220 milliamp hour. This is just me guessing, checking to figure out exactly. I know there's, see, here we go, 46.2 divided by 11.1. So 4209 milliamp hour would be the calculated milliamp hour for that battery. So, yep, it fits in the same enclosure. And I remember when 2200 was a huge battery for that enclosure. So we're really excited about this. It's going to be an option for we're going to make it an option now for VaporLip's DNA200 batteries. And yeah, I mean, thanks for watching this really long video. Thank you guys. One last thing I just wanted to mention really quick is because I know there's going to be a lot of people who already ordered their DNA200 device from us that picked battery 5, the 3000 milliamp hour battery, because, you know, 3000 milliamp hour is a huge battery. It's super impressive. I've never heard of anyone killing a 3000 battery in one day, and now we're jumping up to 4100. It's just incredible. And so I know a lot of people are going to ask about upgrading their battery to the 4000, and so as far as that goes, we have to take that on a case-by-case basis, because, you know, the way that VaporLips works is every week or so we order our inventory for all of our boxes in our queue, and so that way we keep up on our inventory regularly. And so depending on if we've ordered your battery yet, you know, we're gonna have to see what we can do if you want to upgrade your battery to 4000. I mean, I know a lot of people have been waiting a long time, and if your wait time is, you know, substantially longer than our estimated lead time, then we'll be happy to work out some sort of compensation or something like that. But because, you know, this battery wasn't just some battery we found, we spent a lot of time working with this company to make this battery. We had to place minimum battery orders to make this happen, and so the battery is going to end up being a very expensive battery. Right now, you know, we're not 100% certain on the price at this exact second. Obviously, we're going to make the battery available on the website in just a moment, so we have to figure that out. But I would imagine it's going to be around $40 more than battery 5, the 3000. So I mean, for the exclusivity of this battery, you're not going to find it anywhere else. I mean, the work that we put into this, I just feel like, you know, it's a fair price. But yeah, I'm really excited to work with everyone, and you know, we can see what we can do. Yeah, I mean, thanks guys for watching. You know, I really appreciate all the support, and sorry again this took an extra day to get out than what we were expecting. I will talk to everyone soon. Have a great day.